Welcome to our lovely future humans, our 5D collective, the emotionally mature person, which means a self aware person, which, FYI, in the year 2026, I found out it's really only then that you can be yourself completely. Then, with authenticity, you can play a game called life and be grounded in reality, unlike 3D, 4D, who are delusional. But hey, let's not talk about that one right now. So, we're going to begin a new series. You remember our Be Yourself series? Yes, now it's going to be something that deals with something that apparently a bunch of people don't like to deal with. And I say apparently because, I don't like to make blanket statements. Unlike 3D, 4D, pseudo intellectual posturing, I'm just pseudoscience, people who are teenage versions of themselves who want utmost certainty. The left brain, yeah, the left likes that, but I have a left and right that work together. So my right always reminds the left there's never any certainty except for science does prove dark matter, dark energy, and I take quantitative analysis seriously, which is also why, thanks Jesus for forgiving. He forgave, and Stephen Porges confirms why we want to always forgive those who are biologically rude. Oh, also, cosmic karmic balancing. God always wins. Love always wins. There's no evil monster, but you better bet that if I'm going to let you know anything about who the evil stuff is, it's all people who are unhealed. In a way of being completely emotionally immature. It's very not depressive. That word came when I was a kid, probably. It's just very disappointing. It's disappointing to meet lack of emotionally intelligent people. No, not really. It's irritating. Sometimes it's disappointing, like a child who gets sad that you can't play the game of life together. Yes, that happened when I was also a kid, by the way. My twin, she disowned me by the age of 8. I got over it. No, my mother told me, I can't be disowned. Ha 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 ha. You can't disown me, twin. And when she said, oh, so that's why we're broken, I said, we're not broken. We have different personality patterns and we have different types of motivations in life. And that's because I know myself and I know all about. Thanks, Dr. Dan. I love your PDP framework. I got the book. Woo-hoo. So this is amazing. Way better than this, which tells you things that are not true. I totally am good with anger. I'm just 4'9". I have no image to uphold. My name is Maria. That's my image. Look right here. I can see my reflection in a mirror pretty clearly, but this one is good too. So Enneagram, I think, is the foundation. I forget. He knows how to explain it better of PDP framework. So once you're whole, you're going to be back at HP. And if you're whole, then you're going to know how to laugh at what's going on out there. Because seriously, what goes around comes around. I mean, there's never anyone who doesn't reap what they sow. So sometimes, the angels of God know they have to leave it alone because God always does intervene in his own ways, meaning cosmic karmic balancing. And some people don't like that we use God, Akash, Source, Animundi, and the 5D mystics don't give two shits. And when someone says we're going to prove spirituality, sure you are. Up in the sky it is. I mean, they're still arguing about the stars and the moon. Pretty sure they're questioning everything. So, with that being said, at the end of the day, I can totally tell you who expands through uncertainty. Well, those who choose to be brave. So they get to be strong and courageous. They develop grit because they develop compassion. So you learn how to laugh at yourself and then at others. And when others want to get into some type of delusional, idiotic conversation, you learn to leave it alone like I did. I'm a grown woman who started to leave it alone when I was a kid. Because I really don't have time for bullshit. I have places to be, things to do, and that's why Empowered Feminine doesn't lose her way, thanks God. And she knows what God is always doing. The test is there's no test with Lucifers or monsters. It's, do you know humility? Do you know that there's not a good and bad side the way when you were a kid, but that there's a good side, which means our entire globe will be thriving if good wins. If, on the other hand, good that doesn't work. Because, see, we have something called, I've got the power of nature. Oh, if there's one thing the empowered divine feminine know all about is nature. And believe me, I'm not going to die alone with a bear because I have humans around me. I'm not actually isolating myself, nor am I choosing to be with people who want to isolate themselves. Yeah, that actually is not a very fun thing to do. But, some people can't handle when societal culture goes through changes. So, they start to cling on really hard to the past, and then they're playing out all this non-metabolized trauma stuff. And it's not funny when you're seeing them cast stones at each other. I have news for you. We have a lot of topics we're going to talk about throughout the year. And this one is awesome because I'm a perfectionist, but I'm a healthy kind and I'm logical and I actually am linear. And the ones who don't think I'm logical, that's because they don't know how to learn from smart people. Because when you get pseudo-intellectual posturing in classrooms, those are all teenagers who are trying to prove their points. I'm not proving a point. I learned that Jesus told me right. Forgive Maria, for they do not know. Thank you, Stephen Porges, for confirming. Biologically rude people, red or yellow, they're offline. And hey, guess what happens? My facade friend, he's a bullshitter. I had to put up with him. I still have to put up with him. He gets to put up with me. That's a child talking to y'all. It's ha 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 ha. You can't disown me. And that's how it feels. Then there's a moment of truth. Dr. Dan, I love you. Thanks for telling me how to differentiate better. Some of God's children will choose defeat. They don't learn grit. They don't learn strength. They don't learn courage. They definitely don't learn integrity. And they definitely don't learn intelligence because their integrated brain is no longer. So once you use the dark sides of neuroplasticity enough, that's what I call Pinocchio on his island. And then you get to see as they continue to do that. And so with that, while I do know the children of God who are afraid because there's a bunch of other people who are using media in ways that are disgusting, I have faith in the system because even though it's not perfect, the system has to do things to keep things organized. Oh, also they're grounded in reality typically. I mean, at least some of them. Obviously not all of them, but it's okay. There's enough restored embodiment, resilient, emotionally intelligent people. So the emotionally mature person, they're going to be back here because, come on, are you a groupie? Oh, those groupies, man. I don't love a groupie. They're all sheep following each other around, and usually they're following a jackass, which is a leader who's supposedly a popular one. And it's like, sure, popularity is not what it seems. And when you see it when you're a kid, and then you see it when you're grown up, you just think, wow, I'm not delusional, but what the fuck? So I'm using this word because what you don't understand if you're new here is that I actually witness people who look at me weird and I look at them weird. And then there's also other situations where I look at people who look at weird at other people, and I know the word perception and perspective and subjective reality. And then I remember the teenage version of every person is leading them unless they grow the fuck up. Let me think. 3D, 4D. They don't like equanimity. Yeah, they think common-centeredness is bullshit. Oh, wait, they think discernment means believing in their own subjective opinion. Oh, wait, that's right. They don't believe in science. I mean, seriously, I'm the pseudoscience lady. I love you, God. So when people use the word belief, yeah, it's like, okay, I believe in God. And then I believe in every single brother and sister of mine being able to make it over the hump. Proof, data, shows me that they can because their body is smarter than their head, the left brain, the left part that speaks. And then I notice when they say, I'm doing great, Maria, and you think, no, you're not, but you don't say it because your mother taught you manners. So I'm just letting y'all know, you don't tell people who are biologically rude with unresolved trauma, who are acting like teenage assholes, that they're actually unhealthy because that's called rudeness. Also, only martyrs, superiors, and blamers do that. Codependent people who also need therapy, which is why when you see someone say, I'm a healer, how do you chat with them? That's not a healer. And when you do use acumen or words, whatever that word is, for those who have trauma attachment information, it won't be that way. It will be, okay, I think we can organize it this way, that way. You know, we can also go beyond it. So grown-ups don't actually pick words and identify with them and then do, I'm a healer, how do you tell me that? Because also that's not a healer. And those who think equanimity is spiritual bypassing, no. Equanimity is the humility that God's with his timber, at least with me, Jesus, Buddha, they're all here, the ascended masters, the future me, the future human, all of it. They're aliens. Yes, you better bet. Oh, and don't worry, if ever there are aliens, I already know. You know, there's many different ways God encourages, comforts, supports, strengthens his children. Now, if people don't figure it out, I mean, I can't feel sorry for human beings who have been determined. Thanks, Robert Spolsky. I know they have free will. It's called knowledge. And then it's called, once they come across some smart ass human being who says, you know, you can all heal, right? You're all doing great. You all can do great. Your body's already headed that way. But it's not with the pseudo-intellectual posturing assholes who think they know everything. No, it's not with them. It's with people who know actually how to tell you muscles, bones, and tissues. That's where trauma's stored. Thanks, Peter Levine. And then it's also about it being a personal journey. And so when Bezel informs you that your soul is covered up by all the sensations and all the crap from the trauma charges, mine didn't get covered up because I always tell you how I feel. There's a child here. You see what I'm saying? I don't hide shit. I don't want to. My body will, no, we're not going to become friends. Yes, we do frequent the same place. I actively don't know how to lie. I figured that one out when I was a kid, and I'm like, why would I want to lie? That's for cowards. So you learn emotional maturity and to Expand yourself when uncertainty hits, because uncertainty, unknowns, unexpected, unwanted. Boyfriend cheated on me throughout the entirety of the 4 years. I knew what it meant to death do part, sickness and in health, for richer, for poor, better, for worse, and what forgiveness means. Not, I'm going to hold it over your head and make you grovel for the rest of your life and be a vindictive bitch and then continue to do that. That sounds pretty petty. And actually, you know what? That's a contradiction to what love is. So love would be that I can understand we all can make mistakes. Plus, what if I want to cheat? Maybe I'll cheat. I don't know. Hey, I don't have to. Polyamory, it's amazing. Wow, look, grown-ups know how to handle themselves. Not the ones who think, you're not poly enough. That's not a grown-up. That's what are you doing now? That doesn't, why are you forcing somebody to be something they don't feel comfortable with? We all need one securely attached figure. So, your amygdala is actively really wanting that. And so can you stop being an asshole about love? So people who want to say they love, and then I see them having nobody's back. This is why my facade friend, after 5 years where we were not friends, he was in the shithole. You know why I knew he didn't have friends? Because he's an asshole. He had one best friend who left him vomiting at home. If you knew, you don't know the stories. I was like, what kind of a friend leaves a friend at home vomiting? After 14 years, he got to break up. He needs to come out with friends. When my friend came out, I saw him and his friend acting like roosters. They even shared a pair of girls. And I'm like, wow, I mean, I know I'm not close-minded, but that's just, okay then. And then I get to be lied to by my friend because I gave him the good advice. Thanks, Bezel van der Kolk, that as he points out, you can't tell your friend, don't date the wrong person because it's bad for you. Yeah, so some people are active morons. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a moron. When I choose to be a moron, I can acknowledge it. So like the diet. Diet's going great. And the people who tease me, I'm like, haha, stop it. You're not the nutritionist there because they're not the scientist. I will trust the scientist. And that's the moment of truth. Thanks, Mom. So what? You're going to only trust them? No, but they went to school. Well, what if they're wrong? Yeah, they can be wrong. It's okay. We can all be wrong. But I'm going to trust the one who knows what they're talking about. I went to academia. I know what I'm talking about, too. I know strategists, by the way, and smart ones. I'm just pointing out he's amazing. Integrated brain. So when you're self-led, you don't fall for bullshit. The controllable, manipulable, persuadable ones are all morons. And that's why only emotionally intelligent, mature people will be here. Being yourself is very easy. It's not hard when you forgive all the assholes out there. I was 14 by the time I forgave all the assholes and just said, I'm not going to be a coward. I have integrity. Grit. It's becoming compassionate more and more. Then once you see things that you don't like, you just say, hey, God, I got it. You know what's going on. And I can only know that you will reap what you sow. So every place will reap what they sow. It's not vendetta or revenge. It's actively what you put out comes back around. So people who don't believe in it are like the same teenagers who actually didn't believe that good always wins. And it's not about it being perfect. It's about, evolving, expanding. Societal culture changes. People who don't know how to handle it, thanks, Thomas Campbell. It's not a huge paradigm shift. It's a small baby steps. We had Elvis, the sex revolution. We're still getting to evolve as a species. So the people who don't like change, they really don't know what to do with themselves. So when you're a self-master, you won't be manipulated or controlled or persuaded. You'll be able to be talked to. You'll also be able to learn things, which is why you choose the inner growth mindset practices and lifestyle routines and habits because that's how you expand through uncertainty, unexpected, unwanted, and you don't make shit out of the twin flame or twin flame story because that's not nice. Those are people. So you have freedom from manipulation because you're not a delusional moron who's an adaptive child who Terry Real calls a loser. Hey, Terry Real, I know some of them won't come to you. They won't be losers. They'll just be hanging around like the flat earthers do, patting each other on the back and not expanding through uncertainty, let alone do they learn self-mastery. So emotionally mature ones, yes, we easily self-master that which is called our inner growth mindset because we don't do the pity party. When I talk to myself, it's like Maria, and when I hear my child, like, okay, we can be grown-ups about everything that we're seeing, and yes, it's a sad, sad day, Maria. Sometimes it's sad days, but don't worry, God has everything taken care of. So when you know unconditional love, your entire life, and you've been self-led also, by the way, you don't have fear of uncertainty, unknowns, unexpected, unwanteds. And when you're a child of God, meaning I was raised with God, but you also know dark matter, dark energy, I'm not afraid of anything except for the feeling of fear. There's a question someone said, what are you afraid of? My word, fear. What are you afraid of? Fear. Panic attacks, really not fun, but now I know they're fake, meaning that it's all my body, whatever's going on, I can handle it. So grounded in reality, people, welcome aboard. Being yourself. We're going to have some new content, digital products for purchase to deal with uncertainty. That's our new series. Being yourself as you create more emotional resilience and deal with uncertainty, because seriously, the world's not getting any more interesting. Oh no, it is, but I don't know how it's going to play out. Although I've been beginning to see other choice points, because we always have choice points. But what goes around comes around, and society's made by people, and the societies that fail miserably, well, they all have emotionally immature, manipulable, delusional human beings. I spot them and make fun of them. Join us here at IHP to make fun of 3D, 4D, because that's the only thing we can do. You can't talk sense to them. My facade friend, he's still a facade, meaning fake. And that's because he didn't go heal his core wounds and get his confidence rolling. Like any other teenager, they just act like badasses, which they're not. And then you hear them say the same stories. And then you think, yeah, I'm okay with being rejected. It's okay. I don't need protection. I just need to be away from those who don't know what an integrated brain does to those who are non bilaterally integrated, which is bring up every single bit of shame stuff that comes up, or trauma charges, or anything unhealed. And then, I mean, either I have to be listening to them in a way that I will do, or they're going to just talk behind my back or throw shit at my face or whatever. If it's okay, I can catch and make flowers. So we continue to grow compassion like Jesus taught me. Buddha, high five. He sat under a tree. Jesus walked with the people. God teaches me humility. Holy Spirit to stay open-hearted. And all the Ascended Masters are here. So join a 5D Mystic Mentor Content Creator Podcast host, as I am the woo-woo pseudoscience lady, but I'm not a pseudo-intellectual posturing, and I don't bullshit you, and I don't sell you crap. Oh, man. Yes. So to be continued. Have a good one.